Hi, I'm Todd Johnson, a bass player. I was born in Kennewick, Washington. Kind of grew up mostly in the Pacific Northwest and Washington State, a little bit in California. Went to high school in Dayton, Washington. Learned to play the trumpet and tuba all through high school. Went to Spokane Falls Community College, and that's when I got serious about playing the bass. I learned to play a little bit of bass in high school, mainly China Grove and Smoke on the Water, which were really cool things in my day. But then went to college on a tuba scholarship of all things, and then heard a great big band, and all of a sudden the jazz bug bit me hard. That was the downfall of my tuba career and the beginning of my bass career. So I got 8 hours a day serious about playing the bass. I played the acoustic bass real seriously for about 6 years, in addition to electric bass. But once I got out of school, after about 3 years, I worked in a music store and gave a couple of lessons and played in about 800 bands. You know how that is. We all do that. And then went on the road with we call them top 40 bands back then. We played jazz standards for a dinner set, and then we played any kind of popular tune we could handle, anything we could sing moderately close, we played. And toured a lot of hotels, did a lot of resorts, wound up in Las Vegas, played in some show bands, top 40 show bands with girls and horn sections, and played a lot of that music. Played 6-7 nights a week for 5-6 years. Really learned a lot about what it is to be a professional and holding down the groove and playing the part, learning to love the discipline that it takes to play the simple parts. But after 5 years of that, I kind of felt like, well, I had a grasp of that. There needs to be more, and that's when I went back to school. I went to BIT in September of 1990. Seems like yesterday, but that was 20 years ago. And just, man, I was at the perfect stage of my life to succeed in school. I had just enough education to know a little bit, but yet almost 10 years of experience to apply it, and I was thirsting for more information. Well, luckily for me, I got it. I had the privilege of studying with Gary Willis as my private teacher, and man, I was exposed to Jeff Berlin and Steve Bailey and Alexis Skorevsky and Paul Farnan and Jim Lacefield, and just Bob Magnuson and Putter Smith, and just all the greatest bass players in LA on a consistent basis, and I robbed them blind. It was a tremendous opportunity, and luckily I was quite successful, and halfway through my year program there, I started working with a great jazz guitarist named Ron Ishtay. I started subbing for the great Putter Smith with Ron, because Putter had some real high-paying work, and so I subbed for Putter, and I've been playing with Ron Ishtay ever since for the last 20 years. And man, what a privilege! It's I think, as most of you know, it's good to be the weakest link in a chain, and to have better musicians pull you along and make you better. And Ron has done that for me graciously for the last 20 years. But as soon as I graduated, 6 months later, they put me to work, and I taught at BIT I left there in 1999. Just a little bit of advice to anyone out there: if you want to learn something, teach it to somebody else. And all the great students we used to get there would really challenge you, and you had to really keep up and know your stuff. So that was a tremendous learning opportunity for me. Around 99, 2000, I taught at Cal Arts and taught at community college. I still teach at the Master's College, and just continue to play, do a few more clinics and things like that. And I think it was around 2004, 2005, something like that. I decided I had a few methods that I wanted to share with everybody. Actually, most of my former students were saying, "Man, you got to put that walking bass method of yours into a book." because I want to share that with my students. So I finally did that, and over 2 years I came out with Walking Base 1, Triad Module System, Walking Base 2, Scale Modules, and then a collection of technique exercises that I feel is critical for people for cleaning up their right and left hands. And so that's called Technique Builders, and that is all out now on Alfred Publishing, which I'm really excited about. So go to alfred.com, or better yet, go to toddjohnsonmusic.com, and you can check those out there. Walking Base 3 has done it in the can and may be out in 2011. And then around 2007, I think it was 2007, I met one of my good friends, Jim Stinnett, at the ISB convention. I was there doing a little clinic on my simple approach to improvisation. And Jim and I became fast friends, and I started playing at his workouts. Started playing my chord melody style for Jim, and he invited me to his workouts. The next thing you know, we've got a book out called Fishing for Grips, which is my chord melody approach for the 6-string electric bass. And we've had tremendous success with that. And we also have a new CD out called One Good Looking Guy. Actually, it's probably Jim. So, no, it's not, it's me. But, you get the point. What else? Oh, I'm proud to say I have a Zahn endorsement, and Joe Zahn has built me the bass mic, well, my first bass mic, and that's the Zahn Sonus Todd Johnson 6. That's a 34-inch scale headed instrument, and but hopefully in the next couple months, this is January 2010, we're at so hopefully by April or May I should have the second Todd Johnson model, and this will be a 32-inch scale headless TJ6, and I'm looking forward to some exciting things with that. So you know, a lot of people ask me, how come, you know, why do you play chord melody, or how did you get started with that? Well, to be perfectly honest, when I started working on it when I was at BIT, and frankly playing with Ron, one of the things that I learned to do with Ron and that he requested I work on was learning to play a bass line and a chord, you know, a third and a seventh at the same time, and I got rather proficient at that. And in a guitar trio situation, man, that it can be really, really useful. But within my teaching, within lessons, you know, students would be working on bass lines, and rather than just sitting and playing the bass lines with them, I learned to play thirds and sevenths, and I would accompany, you know, the students, and then pretty soon, well, you get a little bored, so you had a third, a seventh, and a fifth, or you had a 13, or you start, you know, I started, basically what I did is I practiced on my students' time, just to be perfectly honest, and over time that became my chord melody system. So I've developed a system of taking, well, all the chord types, but primarily in this first book is major, minor, and dominant. 3-note voicings. It's primarily for 6-string. It's applicable to the 4-string with the G-string, but it's a little dark sounding. But anything with a C-string on it, you're in good shape. And it's 3-note voicings. It's major, minor, and dominant from the root, the 9, the 3rd, 4, the 5, the C, you know, from the various scale degrees, and you get all that stuff together, and then you start learning melodies, and next thing you know, you're going to start to play chord melody on the bass. And other than the vast improvement over guitar, you'll notice very little difference. Bass, it's the new guitar. So that's my spiel for the chord melody. What advice would I have for young students? Well, my advice is to find the best possible teacher you can find and do what they say, and then practice. It sounds kind of obvious, but most people, especially men, I think that has something to do with all the testosterone in our system, but we seem to be determined to figure things out ourselves, or I'll figure out a shortcut. Well, there are no shortcuts, there's only hard work. There are some smarter ways than others, and a good teacher can teach you that and show you the most direct route to success. So get serious about it, get a real teacher, invest the time, invest the energy, your learning will be infinitely more successful. I'm Todd Johnson, and thanks for visiting BassFrontiersMag.com.